Time now for everybody's favorite guessing game, What's My Line? Brought to you by Remington Rand, makers of the world's #1 electric shaver, the Remington. Now, let's all play What's My Line?
And now, let's meet our award-winning What's My Line panel. First, the popular columnist whose voice of Broadway appears in the New York Journal-American and papers coast to coast, Miss Dorothy Kilgallen.
And on my left this evening is a gentleman who... No, I think I'll start another way. If you've been reading the bestseller list recently, you know that a book appears on those lists called Treadmill to Oblivion. It's a very entertaining book, and the gentleman who wrote it is here tonight, Mr. Fred Allen.
Thank you, Dorothy. And on my left, ladies and gentlemen, a young lady who misplaced her Scrabble set this afternoon and who may be at a loss for words tonight, Miss Arlene Francis.
That's true, with or without Scrabble. On my left, a chap, let me say he is our supposedly sophisticated and blasé Random House publisher, panelist, who has come back from the West raving and starry-eyed about 16-year-old girls at the Elgin Academy. Are they that wonderful, Bennett, sir?
You'd make a fine headmistress, Arlene. Well, 2 years ago, a lot of you folks who are watching this show remember that we had Ed Murrow as a mystery guest on this program. And he and our moderator told you about a memorial they were raising funds for in memory of all the war correspondents who had lost their lives in pursuit of their duty. Well, they've gotten all the money together, and tomorrow night, that memorial is going to be dedicated in a monster all-star television show called Dateline. And I guess that's why our moderator looks so happy tonight. Here he is, John Charles Daly.
Thank you, Bennett. Actually, it's a good reason to be happy. And good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to What's My Line. Once again tonight, we're up to our old tricks. We have some interesting occupations which are attached to some very nice people. Which nice people we trust will give the panel a bit of trouble. And I think they're going to do it. We'll also have a famous guest challenger before the panel a bit later on. And now it's time for these experts to meet the first challenger whose job has to be spotted. So would you sign in, please, sir? C. Nash. Right, sir? Now, I don't want to press you too hard, but we got to know what one of those C's stands for anyway. Which one do you want to give us?
Charles.
Charles? Charles C. Nash, is it?
C. Charles.
C. Charles. C. Charles Nash. Fine. Where are you from, Mr. Nash?
Glendale, California.
Well, you have come a long way. I must say it's nice of you to come so far.
Had a nice flight.
Well, I feel something like a cad making you walk at all now, but you've got to walk over here so the panel can see a better look. Get a better look at you.
Any relation of Ogden Nash, Mr. Nash?
Not quite. No.
Automobile Nash, Mr. Nash?
No.
Congratulations, Mr. Nash. First Nash I've ever seen come from California to New York.
All right, Mr. Nash, if you will, over here now, please, and sit down next to me. And as you may know, the panel gets one free guess as to what your line may be, and we'll give those free guesses a whirl with Miss Kilgallen.
I think that he's an additional dialogue writer for Westerns.
Mr. Allen.
Coming from California, I think Mr. Nash is Liberace's dentist.
Miss Francis.
I think he operates the best motel in Glendale.
Mr. Cerf.
He's from Burbank.
Well, the audience is jumping tonight with the members of the Society of American Chemical Engineers, and I suspect that Mr. Nash is one of them sneaked up here behind the curtains and has come out to be a challenger.
Ah, Bennett, you're a terror. And you're wrong, too. Well, now, nobody has it right, so we'll let our viewers at home have a further look at Mr. Mr. C. Charles Nash from California, and at the same time, we'll tell them what his line is. But the panel's going to have to dig.
Should we get over that whole bit? Do you think it'd be a good idea? We get into something else. Do you have anything to do, Mr. Nash, with training anything or anybody?
No.
Do you work in an advisory capacity of any kind with this?
There is a product. Well, is there anything to do with the sight or sound equipment in a studio?
Yes.
Is it one of the machines that is responsible for either recording the sound or putting the picture onto the screen?
No. And that, I think that's enough. Actually, I don't... This was a very tricky one, panel. Don't feel bad about it. It's a
Makes
very
smog,
fascinating occupation, but I don't think you'd have gotten it if we'd given ourselves 3 days.
He's a smog maker.
What did you say?
He's a smog maker.
No, he's much more famous than that, Fred. Mr. Nash is the voice of Donald Duck at the Walt Disney Studio. And Bennett Cerf has met Mr. Nash, but we were counting on his not recognizing him, and he didn't do it.
Mr. Nash.
Those rather fabulous studios, the
Now,
Walt Disney Studios,
I'm sorry,
20,000
but he's
each.
got to just... We must have at least time for him to say something to us like Donald Duck. Come on.
Say just one thing. will you?
Now it's a great pleasure to meet you.
Mr. Nash is one of that great combination of talents whose latest effort, I believe, is 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. The Walt Disney Studios. That's right.
Wonderful picture, too.
Oh, it's a wonderful picture, that I'm sure of. And Mr. Nash, you've been a wonderful guest, and thanks very much for being our guest.
Now we come to the special feature of our program, the appearance of our celebrity, our big and important guest. And my friends in the panel would most certainly recognize our guest on sight. So we provided them with blindfolds. Are they all in place, panel?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
All right, will you come in, Mystery Challenger, then, and please sign in. All right, panel. As you know, in the case of our Mystery Challenger, we get right down to the business of the evening, so we'll begin the general questioning with Mr. Bennett Cerf.
Well, judging by the reception of the audience, this is a very well-known figure. Are you in the entertainment world?
Oui.
Have you been an actor, or are you still an actor?
Oui.
Have you...
We actor.
He's on We the People.
He sounds like a very...
Now we come to the special feature of our program, the appearance of our mystery celebrity. My friends in the panel are blindfolded. The blindfolds are all in place, are they, panel?
Yes,
Good. Will you come in, Mystery Challenger, and sign in, please? All right. Panel, as you know, in the case of our Mystery Challenger, we always get right down to the general questioning, which we will have to test the talents of Mr. Bennett Cerf with tonight.
Well, there was a lot of cheering when you came in, sir, and Willie Mays is down playing winter baseball. Can I assume that you're a denizen of the show world?
That's very possible.
Very masculine. I take it you are a gent.
Without a doubt.
My good friends and colleagues in the panel have blindfolds for all of this. Are those blindfolds all in place, panel?
Yes, sir.
Good. Will you come in, Mystery Challenger, and sign in, please? All right, panel. As you know, in the case of our Mystery Challenger, we dispense with preliminaries, get right down to the general questioning, which we will begin with Mr. Fred Allen.
It's a foolish move you've made, John. I gather from the audience's reaction that you are very well known by sight to practically everybody. Is that true?
Yes.
I gather that you are not Sophie Tucker by any chance.
Would you be considered the kind of a comic that gets the girl?
Yes.
Is your hair thinning a little?
Yes.
I'll take a wild guess at this. Are you Bing Crosby? What happened?
No.
Did ever...
Panel, as you know, in the case of our mystery celebrity, we get right down to business, and we will begin the general questioning with Dorothy Kilgallen.
Are you in the entertainment business?
Si, senora.
What do you say?
This is a Hawaiian.
Are you an actor?
Are you a what?
Actor.
Yo creo que sí.
I beg your
Si.
pardon. See?
Wish I could answer back, but I can't. Do you do something besides acting?
No, senora.
That's 1 down and 9 to go, Mr. Cerf.
Did I understand you to say that you were an actor?
Well, we use the generic term.
Wouldn't this rather be an actress?
Well, we use the generic term.
Are you not of the feminine persuasion?
Si, senora.
Brother, that was a long way around.
Yeah.
You got that very well. Panel, as you know, in the case of our mystery challenger, we dispense with the sort of preliminaries and get right down to the general questioning, which we will begin with Miss Arlene Francis.
Are you in the entertainment business?
I consider myself a participant, yes.
Well, good. Are you in pictures?
Yes.
Have you been in the theater?
Briefly, yes.
And have you been in television?
Barely, honey.
Let's see what you can do with the second challenger. Would you come in and sign in, please? Merle? Emma? Dick. Is that right? Mrs. Dick, and where are you from?
Allentown, Pennsylvania.
Allentown, Pennsylvania. Nice to have you with us. Practically a neighboring state, to a degree, a neighboring state in our northern borders. Panel, Mrs. Dick, panel. Would you join me over here? Do you know how we keep score, Mrs. Dick? Oh, fine. Then let's let everybody at home and our friends here in the theater know exactly what your line is. Mrs. Deck is salaried, and we'll begin the general questioning with Ernie Kovacs.
Is it something that you plug in?
5 down and 5. Oh, I'm afraid not. That makes you 8 down and 2 to go. Give you 30 seconds. Mr. Kovacs?
Are there 2 of these? You've got the only one, huh? No wonder we never heard of it. Is this...
We run out of time. And Mrs. Deck makes cigars. Panel, as you know, in the case of our mystery challenger, we go to a different form of questioning. You ask one question at a time, in turn, moving clockwise, and we begin with Miss Dorothy Kilgallen.
Well, that was rather wild applause. Are you a living American blonde?
A living... Did I hear the question? Are you a living American blonde?
That's right.
No!
1 down and 9 to go. 3 down and 7 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
Do you go as far back as the silent movies?
Do you go as far back as the silent movies?
Yes.
Mr. Kovacs?
Do you have a current movie?
Do you have a...
Yes.
Miss Francis?
A current movie from silent picture days, Rin Tin Tin. Well, are you in the school of comedians of Harold Lloyd?
Are you in the school of comedians of Harold Lloyd?
Yes.
Mr. Cerf?
Was there a picture recently made based on allegedly the story of your life?
Yes.
Buster Keaton.
Buster Keaton is right. Elsie? Lawrence, right? Is it Miss or Mrs.? Mrs. Lawrence, and where are you from, Mrs. Lawrence?
Long Island City.
Long Island City, New York. Fine. Well, these people are all familiar to you then, aren't they? Huh? The one asleep, the second from the end, is Jerry Lewis. Come with me, please. Now, let me see if we can't find out right off the bat if you're familiar with our scoring system, are you?
Yes.
You are? All right, then let's tell everybody at home and those here what it is you actually do, what your line really is.
Well, is this thing that is taken internally, is it a solid?
You're solid.
Yes. It's a solid.
It's a solid?
Solid.
Jackson?
Is it attractive to the palate? Does it taste good?
Yes.
It does taste good?
Sure.
You're the authority on this, because I must admit I can't tell you whether it tastes good or not.
Oh, that's interesting.
Mrs. Lawrence says it does.
You don't know whether it tastes good or not? Would this be taken for medicinal or health-giving purposes?
Yes.
And John doesn't know whether it tastes good or not?
You know I'd never take anything that was healthy, Bennett.
Could this be then called a kind of medicine?
Yes.
It could. And it's a solid. And it tastes good.
Sure.
Is it some kind of a tablet or pill?
Yes.
Has it got vitamins in it?
Yes.
I know what it is already.
What, Gary?
You want me to help you?
Sure.
She makes diet pills.
Actually...
Doesn't she take them at any time?
And now we come to the special feature of our program, the appearance of our mystery celebrity, for which I ask my friends to please put blindfolds on. Are the blindfolds all in place, panel?
Yes, sir.
Good. Will you come in, mystery challenger, and sign in, please? Panel, as you know, in the case of our mystery guest, you change your form of questioning. You ask one question at a time, in turn, moving clockwise, and we'll begin with Miss Dorothy Kilgallen.
Do you have any hit records?
No. Mr. Dolly, why you don't sing Volare?
What?
I can't sing.
Oh.
Our guest asks why I know sing Volare. I tell him I can't sing. I love music but can't sing. Mr. Cerf, 1 down and 9 to go.
Are you a character who might possibly have his picture on the sports pages?
No.
2 down and 8 to go, Miss Francis.
Are you well known through the medium of television?
No.
This I'll have to change. Our guest is well known through the medium of television. Mr. Payne?
Are you primarily, is your job in the entertainment business?
No.
Oh, dear me.
Mr. Dolly.
Yeah?
Why they wear masks?
Why they wear masks? So they can't see what's going on.
Then I wear a mask, too.
What, you mean you don't like to see what's going on?
No.
Now, I would say this. I think it would be unfair
Are you in any way connected with government or politics?
No.
Just looks like it, that's all. 6,000.
Was that yes that you said?
That was yes.
Yeah. He does a regular show. And he's not an entertainer.
Oh!
What'd I say?
You want a conference?
Yes, let's
Yeah.
have a conference.
I bet it's Ed Sullivan. It is? It is?
Well, who's sorry?
It's Ed Sullivan. Good reasons to go. Panel, you get your masks on because we have a special Easter variety here. And in just a moment, my colleagues have, as you already know, some rather special blindfolds tonight. Are they all in place,
I'm
panel?
going to disqualify myself. I'll get this thing off anyhow.
What's the question?
Is this person going to have lunch with me tomorrow?
Take off the mask and retire from the scene.
Oh.
You are going to have lunch. All right. Let it serve. Let it serve is disqualified, so we will move on to Miss Dorothy Kilgallen.
Well, I guess instead of playing What's My Line, I could play Who Would Be Likely to Have Lunch with Bennett Cerf tomorrow.
Covers a wide
But,
territory.
I think I'll say, are you in the entertainment world first?
Now, before you go out of your collective mind, I must explain that our guest's voice is so well known that the answers, at least for some time, are going to come to you from the violin.
Oh, was that a violin?
Yeah, that
Oh.
Are you someone who is not ordinarily associated with violin playing?
was Find out what that means. This can't be answered yes or no, Miss Dorothy.
Well, are you playing it yourself? I mean, is our guest.
That's the most fun I've ever had on this program.
All right. Panel, as you know, in the case of our mystery challenger, we get right down to the general questioning, which we will begin with Arlene Francis.
Well, to begin with, are you in the entertainment business? Well, now, what are you? That's the question. Are you involved in any way in the picture business?
So, Miss Kilgallen.
Well, are you in television?
In television, did you say?
Mm-hmm. Is that a yes?
Yes, that's yes.
Have you also been on the radio? Are you brunette?
Panel, are the blindfolds all in place?
Yes, they
Well,
are.
then let's meet our first contestant. Will you sign in, please? All right. Are you familiar with our scoring system? Well, actually, it's very simple. Every time you can give the panel a legitimate no answer to a question they ask, we flip a card, 10 flips, and you win the game. And now, let's let everybody in the theater, except the panel and our friends who are at home as our guests tonight, know exactly what your line is.
Do you know any of us personally?
No, I must say, I think that would mislead you. I think we have every reason to believe that our guest would know you. You're just about the worst guest I ever had on this show. We're not supposed to. All right, I wonder, are you familiar with our scoring system? If you're familiar with our scoring system, let's let the people at home and our friends here in the theater know exactly what your line is. Now, needless to say, panel, you have been asked to blindfold yourselves because there is an area of identification here of which we had reason to have some fears. So let's just leave it that our guest is salaried, and we'll begin the general questioning.
Are you at the present time singing in a nightclub?
No.
1 down and 9 to go, Mr. Kovacs.
I saw something in the newspapers not too long ago. You're not that little 32-inch alligator that was found in the backyard in Westport, are you?
No.
You are currently on the stage.
Yes.
In a show that is currently in New York.
Heavens, yes.
Would you repeat that inflection?
Yes.
I smell not only a certain perfume, but a certain inflection. This isn't my... You aren't my wife, are you?
Adams, Mrs. Ernie Kovacs.
I'll never wear perfume on television again.
No, I was kidding about the perfume, but that heavens no or heavens yes, whatever it was. Why aren't you home with the dishes? I bet the house will be a mess when we get back.
What was it, Ernie? Is that phrase spoken as Edie speaks in Little Abner, which is...
No, it's when you're married, John, to a woman for a number of years, there are many little things that become near and dear to you.
I tried the comb and everything. I thought you knew every voice that I had, and I tried a new voice. And
Well, you were very good because until John repeated actress, I thought it was a man. We could have ruined the program and the marriage and everything.
Oh, dear, dear, dear.
Me, I thought that was John Daly's perfume.
Oh.
And now we come to the special feature of our program, the appearance of our mystery challenger, for which, as you know, the panel is always blindfolded. Are the blindfolds all in place, panel?
Yes, sir.
Good. Will you enter mystery challenger and sign in, please? Panel, as you know, in this case, we go to a different form of questioning, one question at a time, in turn, moving clockwise. And we'll begin with Dorothy Kilgallen.
Are you a movie star?
That's a matter of opinion.
But I would say yes. Mr. Gable?
Have you a picture now appearing on Broadway?
Sweetheart, I have the most wonderful picture now appearing on Broadway. Darling.
Miss Francis?
Think of boys. Are you also a television personality?
Well, that's also a matter of opinion. I'm not sure, really. I don't know.
But the answer is yes. Mr. Cerf?
Are you a member of a very well-known family of several sisters of whom are stars of one sort or another?
Well, actually, moms and dadums really felt that we were all talented, but I'm the only one that really made it.
1 down and 9 to go.
All right. Panel, as you know, in the case of our mystery challenger, we get right down to the general questioning, which we will begin tonight with Bennett Cerf.
Well, the reception was accorded you makes me feel that your face is reasonably familiar to the public. Is that correct?
Well, sir, I just don't know. I'm not
I would, I think, say yes to that, Bennett, as an impartial arbiter here.
Am I correct that this is a lady who is at present talking through her nose?
Well, I should hope to tell you.
Is your name one that might be familiar on the pages of Variety?
Well, yes, at times I'm sorry to say so, and other times, well, it's all right, I suppose.
In other words, it appears in Variety with some degree of frequency.
I guess so, uh-huh.
Would you be a familiar sight among the big studios in Hollywood?
Well, one particular one I'm terribly fond of, yes.
Are you also a lady who has shown her talents on the Broadway stage?
Well, thank you for calling me a lady and for saying that I have talent, but no.
That's 1 down and 9 to go.
Shall I ask
Yes,
a
you go ahead, Dorothy.
Excuse me.
Are you married?
Oh. What's your list?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mr. Gable.
Do you sing as well as act? Oh, I got a voice like a duck, my boy.
Like a duck. Have you ever heard a duck sing? Good. Will you come in, mystery challenger, and sign in, please? Panel, as you know, in the case of our mystery challenger, we get right down to the general questioning, which we will begin with Miss Kilgallen.
Do you work for a profit-making organization?
I certainly do.
Well, are you in some branch of the entertainment world?
I try.
Pretty hard, too.
Have you ever been in motion pictures?
Oh, yes.
When you're singing professionally, is your voice really lower than that?
Small conference.
Well, all right,
I
John.
She must be pretty.
I have had a small conference.
Well, good luck to you.
My ups and my downs in my singing.
Well, could it be put this way? Are you a little less long hair than you're trying to sound now?
Do you object?
No.
I would think yes.
I love it, but I just, I thought maybe it was a little out of character.
I would think the answer to your question is yes.
Have you sung on records?
Yes. Haven't you bought?
I certainly, if you're who I'm beginning to think you are you married?
Yes.
Have you any children?
Oh, yes.
Did we ever meet in an airport outside of this country once? I have a very poor memory. Oh. I'll ask you another question. Did we ever meet in Paris? No. Well,
One down and 9 to go, Mr. Lewis. Now then, you've said that you... I won't inflict that. May I ask, do you appear regularly on television?
No.
2 down and 8 to go, Miss Francis.
So I thought it was.
Yeah.
Do you appear mostly in motion pictures as opposed to television and the theater?
Yes, the others have never asked me.
Are you known for something other than your singing? And I mean no offense. No, I mean, are you?
Yes,
you are.
yes, yes.
One would consider you an actress then, rather than a singer.
Conference, please.
I would say yes.
An actress rather than a singer, but she is really bucking for a musical career, I can see that. Do you dance?
Yes, actress fashion.
I see, but primarily you're an actress. All right, then. Are you the leading woman?
I certainly am.
There's no doubt about that. And have you been in pictures for, let's say, at least 5 years?
Yes,
And have you been a star since you started in pictures?
yes. Thank
And
heaven.
are you, I really don't know where I am, but let's find out what color you are. Are you blonde?
I'm going to ask our guest to answer mostly because I am uncertain about certain things.
Well, are you blonde now?
Yes.
All right.
I would only say this, that I was uncertain as to whether it was red or blonde because, you know, it had...
It's terribly chic.
Are you
lovely.
under contract to any studio?
Yes.
Is it Warner Brothers?
No.
Panel, I'm going to have to throw in the towel because...
I know who this is.
Who is it, Bennett? I'll give you one name because we got to throw in the towel.
Does she sometimes swim, this girl?
Who is it, Bennett?
Esther Williams.
Esther Williams is right. Well, that's wonderful.
Are you English?
Just playing out a hunch, not because of any voice I recognize. Were you, for many years, just about the tops in television comics? And probably still are. I didn't mean that you aren't today, but I mean when you appeared. I think I'm going to get hit.
I think I will answer that question because it might embarrass. Yes, definitely. Miss Kilgallen.
Are you Uncle Milty?
Uncle Milty it is. And for this, my colleagues have once again put on the blindfolds. Are they all in place, panel?
Yes, sir.
Good. Will
I'll
you
see
come
who it is
in?
and let you know. Now, get down.
Get back onto the table. Come in and sign in, please. As you know, in the case of our mystery challenger, we go to a different form of questioning. You ask one question at a time in turn, and we'll begin it all with Dorothy Kilgallen.
I'm sorry you said that, John. Are you popular?
I hope so.
Mr. Lawford?
It's either Mickey Mantle or Tab Hunter. I don't know which.
You want to pick one of them?
No, man, I'm just trying to be funny. But it didn't work out that way. Are you in the entertainment business, sir?
Yes. Miss Francis?
It isn't Marilyn Monroe with a bass voice, is it? No, you are in the entertainment business. Are you a performer in that business?
Yes.
And how? Hey, come on.
Are you best known for your work in motion pictures?
No.
1 down and 9 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
Do you have anything to do with music in your work?
Yes.
Mr. Lawford?
Do you play in a band?
Yes.
Miss Francis?
I can't think of anybody that would get screams like that in a band except Liberace.
Do you have a movie which either appears on Broadway now or will appear on Broadway within the next week?
That question is slightly loaded.
The answer would be yes, though. Miss Francis?
I know I have a delicious feeling all over me that I know who this is. Do you sit tall in the saddle?
Getting warm. I would say a little crooked.
No?
I think the answer to that has to be yes.
String it along, Bennett. Go ahead.
Do you kick pebbles a lot and say yup?
Go on now. Who is it?
Have you a beautiful wife and a beautiful daughter?
Yeah.
You and I ever related in the picture once?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
What?
Gary
Cooper. Oh. Gary Cooper's right.
All right, panel, as you know, in the case of our mystery challenger, we dispense with the usual questioning, the preliminaries, get right down to the general questioning, which we will begin with Bennett Cerf.
Well, there was a great burst of applause when you walked in. May I assume that your picture has appeared several times in the newspapers?
What's that?
It's Dr. Knock.
I think he's ordering beer. Explain, Bennett, that we are very fearful that if you were to hear the voices of our guest, or the voice of our guest, or the various accents of our guest immediately, you would learn too much, so that the answers will come to you by knocks for a little while. 2 knocks means yes, 1 knock means no.
Are there 2 people over there besides John, I mean?
Oh, no. Oh.
Glad to hear that. I thought maybe it was trigger stamping or something.
I tell you what, Steve, I think we've been hard enough on you long enough. I'm going to ask our guests now if they will use their voices instead of knocking and making replies.
Don't ask the judge.
Panel, as you know, in the case of our mystery challenger, we dispense with all preliminaries. We get right down to the general questioning, which we will begin with Steve Allen.
Well, let's see. Are you in show business?
Yes?
Are you having tooth trouble? No, I withdraw that plate. Have you ever been in motion pictures?
Yeah.
Might you be described, perhaps John would have to answer this, as a leading lady?
Well, I don't know. Do you use a little no?
What?
What's a little no, sir? Sometimes, yes.
What our guest is meant to say is yes. Have you ever appeared in a Technicolor picture?
Oh, yes.
You ever work on TV?
Oh, what? I was telling about over there. No.
One down and 9 to go, Miss Patrick.
Never on TV. Are you here to publicize a picture?
Sometimes in the regular time, was sometime before there. I was not here this time. About last. No.
Thought it was a European picture there for a minute. That was no.
2 down and 8 to go, Mr. Cerf.
You are a lady. We have established that. Remember should I say, of the female persuasion?
Is it no? Well, yes.
Would you be correctly deemed a star?
No. No. Io se lo te lo posso attenzione. No. È vero? Sì, no.
No, yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Well,
Yes?
it says yes, I guess so, yes. Yes.
Have you ever played any dramatic roles in motion pictures?
Oh, yes. Well, no,
I gotta have a conference. I've been waiting for this for a minute.
Oh, I like those conferences. Thank you, darling.
You like them? Oh.
Well, I would say,
Yeah.
half and half, huh?
Half and half. All right.
Okie dokie.
Okie dokie.
Oui.
Well, now, I want to eliminate one person immediately if I can. There's been a lot of pictures in the front pages this week
Well, I was
of
saying
a wonderful girl.
sometimes it's there,
What?
but sometimes not there. Depends what you're looking at.
You didn't let me finish.
I'm afraid.
These pictures showed a very beautiful girl smooching around with Eddie Fisher. Have you posed at all for any pictures with Eddie Fisher?
Well, I mean, there's a... What, you mean smooching?
Well, it's an old Oklahoma word. My wife uses it. It means cuddling up a little bit.
Oh, that what it means?
No.
I like it.
Who is it, Bennett?
Well, is it Debbie Reynolds?
Yes!